Hi, I'm John Boyd, co-author of The Time Paradox, the new psychology of time that can change your life. In today's segment, I'd like to talk about a game that Phil and I call the Marshmallow Game. In a separate video on this site, Phil demonstrates a study first done by Walter Mischel years ago, frequently called the Marshmallow Study. In this study, 4 and 5-year-old children are given a choice between receiving 1 marshmallow now and 2 marshmallows when the experimenter returns from an errand 15 minutes later. Mischel found that children that are able to delay gratification at 4 and 5 years of age and are able to wait for the experimenter to return and thus receive 2 marshmallows instead of 1 score higher on SAT scores 14 years later and perform higher on a variety of psychological measures that suggest that the ability to delay gratification and to control impulse is associated with psychological health. While no one would suggest that the ability to delay gratification on the marshmallow study somehow caused these children to perform higher on the SAT 14 years later, there is evidence to suggest that the ability to delay gratification, to control the person's impulse, and to think about and conceptualize the future is associated with higher psychological functioning later in life. So how can we improve the ability of our children to delay gratification, to control their impulse, and to think about their future? Well, one way may be simply to recreate the marshmallow study at your own home. You can take your children, you can give them a choice between an immediate reward, a marshmallow now, or 2 marshmallows if they wait 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and see how they perform in this situation. We suggest that you start with a very short delay between the choice to have an immediate reward and the subsequent delayed gratification reward, and then build up over time. So for example, for the first choice you give your child, tell them that they can have a marshmallow now or a second marshmallow if they wait a very short period of time, 30 seconds or a minute. Once they're able to delay gratification and they control their impulse for that short period of time, extend the time that they're forced to wait gradually and progressively into the future so that they're waiting comfortably 15-20 minutes, just as the children did in the Mischel study. While the ability to delay gratification for a marshmallow is important, obviously there are more important things that we need to be able to delay gratification for in our lives. So it's important that you don't only use marshmallows. Use the same technique for other types of rewards that your children might want. What's important is a skill and the ability to delay gratification, to control impulse, and to think about the trade-off between future rewards and present behavior. Obviously, we want this to generalize, and we want it to work over much longer time periods than 15 minutes, but that is a start. Another strategy that you could use is a technique called mental simulation. Phil and I did a study with adolescent high school students that had been kicked out of traditional high schools for a variety of problems, including drug abuse, fighting, poor academic performance, and they were in what were called community schools. These are small schools that had 1 teacher and approximately 30 students, all of different high school grades. We went into these schools and we taught these students a technique called mental simulation. And mental simulation is a fancy way to say structured daydreaming. And we asked these students to mentally simulate achieving a goal that was a different distance into the future each day. And as we taught them to mentally simulate achieving a goal. We asked them not to focus on actually achieving the goal itself, but we asked them to mentally simulate, mentally rehearse, mentally daydream about the steps that they need to take in order to achieve this goal that they themselves have said was important. First day of the study, we asked them to achieve or to imagine a goal that could be accomplished the very next day. The day after that, we asked them to imagine a goal that could be achieved the next week, and we progressively extended the time that the goal was in the future up to about 5 years after the course of 2 weeks. And again, we asked them not to think about the benefits and the thrill of achieving the goal, but all of the steps that they would need to take to achieve a goal, all of the hard work that they would need to do to achieve a goal. And what we found after the course of the 2-week period, that their time perspective changed dramatically. They went from having a very ideal sense of the future, that they wanted to be doctors and rock stars and NBA players, to being much more grounded in reality. They wanted to get their GEDs, they wanted to go back to their traditional high school, they wanted to reconcile with their family or friends. They had much more concrete tasks. And through this course of mental simulation over a 2-week period, we took what was a very nebulous and ill-defined future and we made it much more concrete. And hopefully by making it much more concrete, we gave these students a sense of how their present behavior can influence their future rewards in both a positive and a negative way. One of the most fulfilling research activities of my life, and I still remember some of the comments in the post-debrief where people said things like, "This was really fun. It allowed me to set a goal and achieve something, and that had never happened in my life before. Another student said, this helped me achieve one of my most important goals, and that was staying out of jail. So time perspective can play a profound role in our lives, and we can teach children to delay gratification and control influence, hopefully influence their SAT scores years down the road. And we can also take students that have not fully embraced a future time perspective in their high school years and teach them to have a more concrete vision of the future, and hopefully, by so doing, improve the quality of their lives. Thank you for being with me. Hope you enjoyed the segment.